everyone, welcome back to Cami-san's Crafts. I know it has been quite a while since I've posted, but I'm going to start posting some things again. And I figured I might as well show you the things that I create and kind of how to do things in Cricut Design Space. I often find myself trying to Google things, but I also want a place to put the things that I create. So since I'm dumb and I accidentally deleted this project I'd been working on in here and saved it, I already have a picture of it uploaded on the group page, in the group and on the page and on Instagram. Those of you that are following me here that have been following me on social media, this is just another platform to follow. But what I did is I went and saved the picture from Facebook to my computer so I can re-upload it and get it to the way I need to get it back there. So this is the one I deleted on accident. I created this and then deleted it. So I'm going to kind of show you how to take an image and upload it and make it a SVG. So like a, save the file and cut it, or save the file and do it as a print and cut. So I'm hoping that this is going to work out right and I'm not going to have to redo it because that would be so sad. But I uploaded the image into Design Space and I'm going to take out everything in here that is white. So any item that you have and you want to be able to do stuff with it in Design Space, you're going to want to take out the background, the white background. This one is something that's fairly simple and fairly easy because it really only is two colors, but it's a bigger, picture, a bigger design. The lettering is bigger. So this one's super, super, super easy. You can preview it. Like I don't think I didn't get in there. In here. And I don't think that this is really going to work out how I want it. So I'm probably going to have to redesign this entire thing. But we will see, which is frustrating. So you can see that I've got all of the white here. If we were going to print this, it would be perfect. But because my original idea is this would go on a bag or whatever to have an iron on, I want to preview it and it looks messy and just not that good. So I could come in here with an eraser and get rid of all of these little things, even though you can't see them here, they're there. You'd have to get rid of them like that, and then you just sometimes erase the design, and let's be honest, ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm just going to continue to upload it and show you what it would be. You would be able to name it whatever you wanted to name it here, but you can still see that all of these little things just make it look not cute, and it would cut that way when I would cut this out of vinyl or heat transfer vinyl or whatever I was going to cut it out of. If I was going to do it as a print off of the printer and then cut on the Cricut, it would be fine. But I'm going to upload it so I know what it looks like because I'm going to have to recreate it. But if it was right, that would be simple, very easy. I'd be back to where I was when I deleted what I was looking for. But since that's not an option and it looks bad, I will show you how I created this. So you are going to want to search for your image. Let me see. Let's do this. I have all of my other ideas and designs and options here. So I'm going to go into this previous one I have saved. Then I don't have to search it, but I will show you how I saved it and how I found it. I think that's what I did last time is I went in and I hit save when I didn't want to save it. So now these are my letters. Okay, so we are going to save this up here. because we're going to have to add it back into here eventually. So what I'm going to do, and I quite often, I don't know if that's the right word, I do this quite often, go back to something that I have my design in to where I can get it and save it and just move things around, make it easier. So this is the design I started with. Let's see if we can view some image on photo image. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's try it again. Don't accidentally save like I did. Okay, so I'm gonna ungroup this one. So I have noticed it's not on everything for some reason, but on most things, you can hover over the picture and go look at the cartridge that it's under. So I searched ballet shoes. There was tons of ballet stuff I searched through, and all of these things were mixed in with that. This is just a quicker way to re-find it now that I already have multiple projects with it. So these are the shoes that I used. Going to insert them here. So basically it's just a couple extra steps to get there, but that's just a helpful hint if you didn't know how to find that. So let's try it one more time, and this time I will get the name of the actual cartridge, and we'll go back to that other project and we will find it. So if you right click over the image under the panels, do page info, view cartridge, it's Dance Parents. So that's the cartridge I found it under. So now I'm going to go back to this one, and I know it's a lot of steps and I know it's kind of all over the place. This is the first video I've made in so long, so I'm getting back into the flow of that. See, I just saved that and I didn't even need to save that. Okay girl, get with it. That's okay, it's still in there. So now I'm going to come back and image, and I saved it, so that was cool. That was the last image I looked up. If not, I would have just searched it up here, searched Dance Parents, and it would have come up with this here. Okay, so I'm going to hide these names again, and I like to zoom out and so make it further away, but then I just like to make this bigger. I have horrible eyesight sometimes, so this just makes it much easier. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mess with some shapes for a second. So I need 2 circles, and I'm going to change the color on one of them so it's easier to see. But I learned this from a crafter I watch on YouTube who does a lot of paper crafting, and I can't really say I learned it. I mean, it's the technical term is technically right. It's what it should be. But I just keep remembering it every time I go to size something and make it layered. So you could easily, just make this smaller and mess with it till it gets to the right size. But I feel like that's hard sometimes with the mouse, sometimes with the laptop. It makes it just super difficult. And I don't want a thick outer circle like you saw in my design, but I don't want something super thin either. So I like to just start with easy numbers. A circle for me are whole numbers, anywhere from 3 to 5. I just usually do 5. 5 is my number. I couldn't tell you why. So the back circle we want bigger, the black one we want bigger than this yellow one. So I did the circle at 5. So we're going to make this 1/4 or 1/4 of an inch smaller. So this is going to be 4.75. Of course, it's a circle, so it's going to change both the width and height, or basically the circumference. So as you can tell, if it was perfect, that's not too bad of a thickness around it. Me, I can never get it straight, so I just do it the easy way, select all. I select all by selecting, you know, just dragging over it. That's one way you can do it. You can come over here to the layers panel and hit control. I think there's even shift is an option. Whatever works for you. If you hit select all up here, it will highlight your dance shoes, your ballet shoes. So you could, you know, hide everything over here and select all. I kind of just sort of do multiple different ways depending on what's kind of working. Sometimes my mouse isn't the greatest because I don't have a mouse pad, or it's harder on the key, the, you know, the little mouse on the laptop, whatever. So I just try to do whatever is easier for me to do. But if you select it all and you align center, see how that made it all in the center? So even if they were touching each other, I don't even think they have to be touching each other. If we were to select all and enter, it's going to come into the center either way. So that is something that's pretty cool. I like to use this quite often, but I am going to then just have it highlighted, make sure the two are highlighted, and I'm going to slice it. So slicing is going to give us, in this case, probably 3 layers. Sometimes it gives 4. Looks like it only gave 3, which would make sense because it's just the circle. So I want this part of it, so I'm just going to select and select those and come up here and delete them, right click and delete them, exit and delete it over here. Whichever works for you is the way to do it. So again, I resize everything and I just make everything huge. Sometimes I even just turn off this grid, it makes it easier. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I am going to align, and I'm going to have to look at my other image to see where I aligned it at, just to be sure. I know it was at the top, in between the bow and the ribbon, but below I was pretty sure it was on the bottom of the shoe. But let's be sure. My computer is being a little slow, so we'll come back to that. A lot of my themes are expiring. Okay, so I know for sure I had it in between the ribbon, and sometimes you just have to make it bigger, so you can select it all and make it bigger. Sometimes you just gotta, okay, because I'm going to weld it here in a minute, it's okay if it kind of overlaps right here, because it doesn't have to be perfect that I'm gonna, you know, get it in between the center of the two for multiple reasons. In the end, I'm going to weld it together and they're going to attach anyways, but I'm going to have to move my design again, because I'm going to remove the ballet shoes when I cut the circle. So it doesn't look like I want it to quite yet, I don't think. So we want it at the bottom of the shoe and the tip of the ribbon. So there it's at touching the tip of the ribbon, the bottom of the shoe. So I guess that doesn't look too bad. There are probably tons of other ways to do this, but this is how I do it. It makes sense in my head. I don't know, it's just easier sometimes, but I just take the scoring tool. You could take a shape and make it this size. The scoring tool is just readily available. I just put it where I'm going to want it to cut, because what's going to happen is when I get rid of the shoes in the background, it's just going to be the circle, and I'm going to take another circle and I'm going to slice it. So that's where I want my circle to fit in. So, and it will kind of make sense more when you see it, but you can see the score line is right kind of where I want it. I'm going to see if I can try and move it down just a smidge without moving everything else out. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, now I can either duplicate it here, could click on it again, whatever again works best for you. But all this is doing is giving me a line where I need to cut out. So you can see that the two lines are here. I'm going to remove this, and now the space in between this line and this line, I'm going to slice away. I didn't move my design. Don't move your design here, and don't move your ballet slippers. Just turn them off is what I call them. Click the and get rid of them. Okay, so take your circle, and I always change the colors. One makes it easier for me. Obviously, it's going to be easier for you viewing the video. So I put a shape in and unclick the lockbox. That is going to allow my circle to go from a circle to an oval, or whatever other design I needed at that time. So I always work with circles. It's just easier. For most situations, it's easier. But we might actually change our mind here in a minute. So I could do this, and I'm probably going to since it's in the spot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it, and then I'll work on this tiny little piece right down here. So without moving anything, sometimes I don't even want to touch any of this over here. I'm just going to click on my yellow and click on my circle. And I'm going to come down here to slice. So this gave us still 3 pieces. This is our original piece. We're not going to need it. This is the piece that cut out of the yellow. We're not going to need that. And then we're not going to need that. So if you can turn back your slippers, you can see that it's perfect, right? That score line is right where I cut, which is right where my ballet slippers need to go. The only part I don't like is this part right down here. But actually, I'm not really worried about that now that I look at it, because when we weld, it's going to come together anyways, so it's not really going to matter. And I'll show you what I mean. And if we don't like it, we can always go back. But let's click on our shoes are highlighted and our circle. And we want to weld. So do you see how it connected here at the ribbon and here at the shoe? It would have been an extra step for me to remove that little piece here that I didn't like, because it would have reconnected anyways. So that's what I was saying by it didn't matter once I looked at it. So now I have the design back that I deleted, that I had to go in and remake, which is nice. It's very, very easy. Why is this in my way? One thing though I do want to point out, and let's undo this real quick, is you easily could just attach, and some people are like, oh, well, when I attach, it's going to turn this to pink, so when it cuts, it's all going to cut as one color. But look at the difference when you attach and you weld. And for the longest time, these little details I didn't catch. When I attach it, do you see how it looks, that piece, I should have got rid of that piece, right? And this overlaps my my bow, right? Doesn't look, it's cute. Did you notice it? If I didn't point it out, maybe not. If you're a crafter, probably. I would have noticed one way or another. That's just me. I pay attention to that kind of stuff. So instead of attaching, you want to weld them together because it becomes one piece. So that would have not cut as one piece. That would have cut, and you would have had the circle half and then your ballet shoes, and you would have had to fit it in there. Layering like that is super hard, in my opinion. So I just weld it all. So if I make this, if somebody orders this design from me, it's all going to be one piece. I'm just going to weed out this part right here, and of course in between these little pieces, and it's going to be super easy at that point. So I'm going to put back in my font, and I deleted the photo that had my other font in it. So we're just going to put Beauty and the Beast font in here. I had Walt Disney font in there before. And in another video, I'll show you guys how to use DaFont for these fonts. I love them. They're awesome. Sometimes it's hard to click what I want, so use the panel. Okay, so now I'm back to what I had before, and I can save it and I don't have to worry about it being deleted. So I'm glad that I was able to show you guys how to upload upload a design to Cricut Design Space via the upload option. So these pictures could come from the internet, your personal, computer photos, get them from Facebook, whatever you want, or in my case, take a picture of what I already had and it didn't work and redo it. But I'm glad that I was able to show you that, and then, I'm glad that we were able to see how I designed this. I know this video, again, is kind of all over the place. I'm doing it on my lunch break, but hopefully it works for now, and I'll get back into these video postings and getting things set again. I know it's been like a couple of years, but you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and I have a Facebook group or Facebook page at Cami Sounds Crafts, and let me know if you have any questions, and make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Bye, guys.